Hi guys, as usual, before we begin, all the necessary links in the video description and my test system setup details also in the video description. Today we will be looking at the ZeroZone build. This is a clone of friend JD's DP-60L preamplifier that you've probably seen my first look video on quite recently. So I got this guy for something like $450. The starting price is $580, but as usual I've waited for the AliExpress sale price, and then I got some coupons on top of that, and then there was a VAT reduction for customers in European Union. So the final price, the total price that included shipping, was $450. In the meantime, since my first look video, I've done some research on DP-60L. It's basically a stereo tube preamplifier designed by JD's and introduced to the market a little over 25 years ago, something like that, in the 90s, from what I've seen. But do correct me if I'm wrong here. The thing is that this is quite old construction from the pre-internet times, so it's very hard to find anything on it, except for some photos from the auctions and offers for the used DP-60Ls. So this is supposed to be a very fresh kit from ZeroZone. That's what both offers for the do-it-yourself kit on the PCB are saying, and I can confirm that there's not a lot of offers on this preamplifier in a ready-made build and with do-it-yourself PCB boards. So you can still get second-hand JD's DP-60L, though they are very rare, for anything between $2,500 and $3,500. And I found some info that release price in the 90s was like $6,000. Now that was in the dollars from the 90s, so the current price would be much higher. Now this one is sold for something like for $580, as I told you, and that includes shipping, but I've paid finally for it something like $450. So that's a significant price difference. And if you take a look inside and compare it with the photos of regular DP-60L, there is a striking similarity in PCB and layout of the components inside. Interestingly, you can get all of those components as do-it-yourself parts separately, and that also includes this very nice chassis. And now let's talk about some numbers. There's just a few of them. This preamplifier is using 3 tubes, two 12AX7 and one 12AU7, and more on that later when we will be looking inside. The only data I have from the sellers is that input impedance is 1 megaohm for CD input. Sensitivity is specified as 120 millivolts. Max output is specified at 50 volts, and gain is given as 55 decibels. That's a lot. And the weight, something like 10 kilograms. The size, the width, this is a standard 450 millimeters width of the component. Now, let's talk about the build. The first thing, I don't like using brand names on the clones. That's why we have a piece of tape here. You can basically remove the gold plate because it's being held on those 4 screws and those small screws on the switches. Let's turn it off. So in the front of the device we have input selector and volume control and mute switch. We also have a power on and off switch and blue LED for the power on status, and this LED is blinking during warm-up period. As you can see, the volume control has a scale printed outside, but the input selector doesn't have anything like that, although the knob does have a kind of notch here. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to rotate the knob and mount it that the middle position will be facing upwards, so this way I'll see which position it's using, because currently, yes, there is a notch, but it doesn't do much because this is the topmost position here. Yeah, I think that's all about the front. This plate, I think it's metal. I think so, but I'm not sure about that. As you can see, it's gold plated. I don't think it's plastic, because obviously it's a fingerprint magnet, and when I was trying to clean it, I haven't made any scratches on it. And usually plexiglass panels are very easy to scratch. So nothing to see on the sides. On the top we have a very nice set of venting holes, but the preamplifier doesn't get hot at all. So they're here, they're nice, but it doesn't get hot. In the back of the device we have 4 sets of inputs. One of them is for CD, and this one is a little bit different, as you will see inside of the device, and 1 set of RCA outputs. Those are gold plated and they are branded with CMC, so these are probably very popular and fake connectors that you can buy separately on AliExpress. We also have a power socket connector with integrated fuse compartment, and we have small information about risk of electric shock. Yeah, so let's go for some shock. Let's open it up. It's not an aluminium, it's a very solid piece of steel, I would say. It's very heavy and it's very solid. Let's put that aside and let's take a look inside. So let's start with the power section. It looks exactly like in the photos of some DP-60L that I found on the web. Although the brand of the parts are different. We have block transformer, we have 2 capacitors. These are BC V-shaped caps, and they are rated for, give me a second, I don't remember, I was talking about that in the first look video. These are rated for 150 microfarads, so quite small. The black guy is Panasonic. We have some rectifier diodes in classic Gretz configuration here, and we have one 12AX7 tube that's used as a buffer for CD input. That's why I was talking that the CD may be quite different. We have a set of Bevenby, I don't know how to spell that, MKP capacitors here. Here we have strange capacitors that are looking like cheap MKP or MKS caps, but the type number on them, let's zoom in for you, yeah, that number here. When I was looking for it on the web, the only thing that I found is that these may be ceramic capacitors, as I found some offers for those sold separately with matching photos and matching model number. But yes, they do look like classic MKP or MKS capacitors. They do not look like the ceramic ones. Those guys here are Philips capacitors, and those guys here are again 150 microfarads BC V-shaped caps. The input selector is here. It's a mechanical one, quite nice one, and you can also get it separately sold under GD Parts brand. If you've seen that, if you're into do-it-yourself stuff, you may be familiar with their shop on AliExpress, because they are selling quite a lot of nice do-it-yourself parts. The volume control is realized by Blue ALPC volume port here. And yes, this preamplifier doesn't come with a remote. The original also didn't have any kind of remote, so that's in line. But I think you should be able to add the remote, although it may not be as simple as with some other builds. There are remote control kits available on the Ali. I'll try to link to sample one in the video description. The idea is that you're usually connecting 12 volts AC or DC from the transformer to the ready-made board with volume pot, and you're placing the IR sensor somewhere outside of the chassis, and you're getting a remote included in the kit. But this may not be as easy as in other builds, because I'm not sure about the output voltages on this transformer. Yeah, so this one is used for the buffering of the CD input, and those two tubes are used for the regular amplification in this preamplifier. And the first one is 12AU7 and the second one is 12AX7. When you're ordering this preamplifier from Ali, you can choose either version with the PSvane tubes or the one without. I went for the one without because the version with the tubes uses basic PSvane tube series, which are very good for the base series, by the way. But since I have a lot of them lying around the house, I went for the cheaper version without the tubes, and I used some of the tubes that I have handy in here. But the first path for the upgrade would be to go with PSvane Horizons or PSvane Art S series, and I will talk about that more later when I'll be talking about the sound quality of this preamplifier. Yes, what else do we have here? We have a relay, Omron relay that starts up the amplifier after preheat period, and actually not starts up but opens up the outputs. And we also have this guy here that will look like operational amplifier, but it's not. Yes, it's using the IP8 socket, but many ICs are using those. And in this particular case, we have 555 counter that's used for the delay circuit that's opening the relay after preheat. The cables are routed neatly along the board. What's interesting on the board is that, let's zoom in, you may see those places. You have separate CD output points on the PCB, and there are also separate CD input points on the CD. So let's rotate the guy, and if you take a look at the input sets, this set is for the CD, and there is a small cable going here that's soldered to the board for the CD inputs here, and the CD outputs here are using separate cable that goes under the board. It's coming up right here. You cannot see it very clearly because it's just behind this white silicone strap, and joins the other cables routed to the input selector here, and from the input selector it goes through the volume control to the main amplification circuit. The main amplification circuit, as you can see, is fully symmetrical, and the info that I was able to find on the web indicates that this preamplifier is fully symmetrical with fully separated left and right channels. So I think that's it about the board. Do look for the photos of the original, and you may compare them with this particular shot of the inside of this preamplifier, and you will see the striking resemblance of the preamplifier that was built and produced over 25 years ago with this do-it-yourself kit. by ZeroZone. By the way, there is no information about this particular board being produced by ZeroZone, also known as ZeroZone, but there is some interesting information about jumping, shortening the board over here for different voltage. Yeah, that's the one. So basically you can order this guy in two versions. The first one is for 115 volts and the second one is for 230 volts, but there is no nice switch outside or on the inside, but instead of that you're using those jumpers to configure the voltage. Shouldn't be a problem because I don't think you'll be buying European version for the US or vice versa, but it's there. You can configure it if you would be moving across the pond with your audio equipment. Okay, so let's make some room and let's talk about the sound quality. Let's do it like that. So, so you'll be able to take a look at the board, and I will talk for a while about the sound quality because that's what the most important thing about this device. So the bass. The bass has excellent extension. When paired with T9.4, there is no noticeable roll-off. It's fast, it's precise, it has just a touch of warmth, but it's not overdone, and you could mistake that bass for a very good solid-state preamplifier bass. It doesn't add anything to the mid bass. It remains true to the source. So do not expect any mushy or slow bass here. It's clean, it's detailed, it's very good, and I really like it. Moving on to mid-range. Mids are definitely star of the show with supernatural vocals, with very realistic piano in acoustic version of Magnetized by Tom Model. If you're familiar with the track, do listen for the first part. Before he starts to sing, there is a guy playing the piano and it sounds absolutely mesmerizing with this preamplifier. The timbre is very good. Everything sounds natural and smooth, but without sacrificing detail in the mid-range. Mid-range is transparent, it's clean, and it has the tube smoothness in spades. Vocals are excellent. Vocals are very natural, they are mesmerizing, and most importantly, they are full of emotion. I have no idea how to actually translate emotion in the sound to the frequency response, but this preamplifier has emotion in vocals in spades. The treble. Treble has a very good extension and it's very open. It's full of light. This is tube treble done right. It's smooth, but it's also very transparent. There is no veil, there is no fog, no early treble roll-off. So if you like muted tube treble, this guy is not for you. It's clear and it's transparent, as the treble should be, exactly the way I like it. Now, moving on to detail. There is a weird thing about the detail here. I was thinking I am hearing everything and I was ready to say the detail is excellent. But then in some tracks I have noticed that there are some very small things, maybe not exactly missing, but a bit masked. So I had to look for them. So it's very good rather than excellent, as I thought at the beginning, and the culprit for that probably is the background. When I was checking that and I was focusing on the background, it's not super black. There is a very slight hiss if you listen very close to your speakers. But all in all, I think I really like the resolution here. Some very small, minuscule details, you'll have to look for them. But I really like the way it presents the detail, it presents the small sounds and nuances in your tracks. Now, let's move to imaging. Imaging and soundstage is another highlight. easily on par with both carry clones. Soundstage is very spacious, it's very deep, it's very wide, and it's very tall, like you would be in a very big cavern or a concert hall, with you in the middle. Images have very good locations, but not super sharp boundaries. Though nothing overlaps, there is a lot of room between sound sources. The layering is very nice, and you can often hear the things that are happening in the back that with other preamplifiers would be obscured, as strange as it may sound. I'm not sure if you know what I mean, but because, you know, obscuring the sounds, right? It's not like we are looking at the sound. But if there is a good layering, in many cases, you'll be able to hear things that are happening in the back. With the soundstage not deep enough, the sounds will be very close one to another in the z-axis, and this causes them to blend, which means that you will lose some of the sounds, and this is what I mean by obscuring the sounds. Now, moving on to the summary. Let's start the summary with a couple of general notes. The gain is high. It was given as 35 decibels, and I was able to use only about a quarter of the volume pot range before anything got too loud. So from here, somewhere up to here. Still, when it was very loud, it was also very clean. There was no distortion that would make me lower the volume. There is a startup delay, quite long, and that's good. That will make your tubes live longer. You need to remember that after powering this preamplifier on, you'll have to wait for something like about 1 minute, and during that time this LED is blinking. And after that the relay opens and you're ready to play some music. Still, this preamplifier sounds best after something like 20 minutes. The preheat is about 1 minute, but then it takes, I think, about 20 minutes or something like that for the all board to get to the operational temperature, and there is a significant change in the sound. It does sound better. It sounds great right from the start, but it sounds better after 20 minutes. There is also one thing about the sound that I want to share that did not fit in the other parts of the review. This amplifier has a great sense of pace and rhythm. Yes, and I'm doing this like that. You can easily catch every change in pace, even with small changes in the vocals. This makes listening to this preamplifier very engaging, and that may be part of the explanation why this preamp sounds very emotional. All in all, I really like this preamplifier, and it gets my solid recommendation. I would place it right behind both carry preamplifiers in my clone race, so that's a very big praise. I'm also pretty sure it can sound even better with better capacitors. These guys and these guys and these guys are basically first simple path for the upgrade. Maybe not the first, the second one. Why the second one? Because the first one would be to get PS Vane ART-S series tubes for an upgrade, as this is an instant level up. I know, I've tried that too, because I have base series that you can see here, I have Horizons, and I have ART-S series to change, replace, and to test. Horizons are also good choice, very neutral upgrade, but ART-S with its sweet coloring matches the emotional sound of this preamplifier. So this guy will definitely land on my recommendation list for the next coming sale. I think there will be at least one more sale before 11/11 sale. That's still only less than a month away. So this guy will land on my recommended preamplifier, tube preamplifier list. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. And if you did, you're more than welcome to support my channel by getting me a beer. I'm a beer guy. You can do that by either PayPal link in the video description or the YouTube super thanks button that's also found under the video. Yes, I hope you liked it, and I really hope you'll have a wonderful day ahead of you, and see you next time, guys. It really looks good, but it's also a fingerprint magnet. I think you may have noticed that I haven't touched even a single time to this front plate. And you'll learn to avoid that too. So, see you next time and have a great weekend. Bye, guys.